President Biden likely expected to win tonight's Democratic contest handily. And if you look at the general election, though, his economic message doesn't seem to be getting across. Only 36% of people approve of his handling of the economy, according to a Gallup poll. It's only marginally up from November. Many Americans are looking back fondly at the Trump economy. 2/3 say the economy was good during Donald Trump's term as president, according to a recent CBS YouGov poll. And it's not only Main Street, there's also an ease on Sesame Street. Cookie Monster has taken to X to complain about shrinkflation, saying his cookies are getting smaller. Double the cookies. Tomas Philipson is a former Trump administration economist. He is with me now. You know as well as I do, the economy under Trump was never as good as he said, and the economy under Biden is not as bad as people believe.
Well, I think, the Biden economy, I think, is catching up, if you want. It's kind of like a football team or soccer team in Europe, I guess, where you're down 3 goals in halftime and now you scored a goal and you claim you're winning. There's a lot of stuff that's positive going on currently in the last 2 quarters, but real wages or purchasing power for workers are down. Consumer sentiment is down compared to when he started, and stocks are only performing, even though we're breaking nominal records, it's only about a 3% return a year, which is dismal compared to 8-9%, which is the traditional return. So there's a lot of good things going on in the economy. Everyone is hoping it's going to go well, but it's a catch-up game for Biden in terms of 2024.
What was so good about the Trump economy? I keep hearing people saying that, let's forget what the former president says, and the hyperbole in that sense. He managed to have a trade war with China, which basically raised prices for US consumers. He annoyed most of his NAFTA, a whole load of allies elsewhere. And arguably, the economy was at its best point between financial crisis and pandemic.
That's one way of describing it. Another way of describing it is that we had an extremely strong labor market. We currently don't have a strong labor market, and was particularly strong for blue-collar workers. So their wages went up enormously in real terms during that presidency. And I think that's a very significant thing. We claim we have a strong labor market now. I think that's confusing what economists call quantity versus prices. We have people in the labor market that are adding on to the labor market, but the prices are down. Real wages are down since Biden started. So it's natural for workers, right. Even though we say we have a strong labor market, workers are not liking the economy. So you should be kind of concerned about that. And that's because the prices are down, even the quantities are up.
On the opposite side of the scale, of course, the pandemic, followed by the extreme investment required or stimulus required, followed by the inflation the beauty of Quest Means Business is we cover the global economy. And I can tell you every country in the world had inflation. And I can tell you that every country in the world, that's often lost on the American viewer in a sense. Every country in the world had inflation. Every country in the world had excessive deficits. Every country in the world has had a massive slowdown.
Yeah, no, exactly. COVID had a very similar pattern across the globe, but the way government responded to COVID had a similar response also. It was a lot of debt. And it was a lot of, more importantly, the monetization of that, meaning printing new money to basically pay for the new spending. Spending can be financed in 3 ways. Either you raise taxes now, or you raise taxes in the future through debt, or you print more money to basically finance the new spending. And the Biden administration and many governments, US is not alone in this, chose to basically debt finance right. With more money, with a higher money supply. And that's why you see the similar responses across the countries.
All right. I won't hold you to this answer. I promise you. Do you expect, hope, choose your own adjective, do you anticipate, hope that you will have a role in a Trump campaign, a formal role in a Trump campaign and an administration if such other it be?
I'm not going to speculate on that. I'm obviously talking to everyone who was involved last time, and there's a lot of things going on, but that's up obviously to the president to decide.
Grateful for your time, sir. Thank you very much. Good to see you as always. Thank
Thank
you.
you.